that ref has like the background of bad stoppages.
He's a good trier. I hear the commissioners come back in. Okay, no contest, and I'm like, what? People are surprised, people who watch the sport, they don't realize that these top 15 guys are nonstop competing with guys in the top 500. I should be in jail. Or dead. I should be in jail or dead, man. Oh, it's going to break me. Look. I want to see how many of you guys I can just choke out. Without Keith here, maybe I could get a finish.
Or at least
I want to be
in
a
UFC.
world champ, man. I want to be a world champ. I don't say it enough.
Can you hear me all right, Crosby? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Clash of Combat podcast. Today, we are joined with no one at the moment, but we're just going to start it up because we actually have practice in about an hour. So this pod is going to be a little shorter than the usual pods, but it is Dan Argueta. Now, he is a current UFC fighter. He actually wrestled for Parkside as well. So this is our third actual Parkside alumni that was on the podcast. We had Nick Fishback, who is a amateur fighter. We had Nick, our coach, 3-time national champ, and now we're going to have Dan. So what you thinking?
I'm super excited.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I mean, you said you got like a lot of questions to ask in like a little bit amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, I can just rattle them off.
You just that's right here. What's like one question you're most excited to ask?
I don't know. I just saw the pictures of him in Al Joe's fight camp, so I just wanted to ask. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see when we get.
Well, I mean, so he was in Vegas, like training at that whole performance center and everything.
Sure.
Right? Like he's got to have some similar crazy stories that I'm actually interested to hear.
Similar to who?
Similar to Dan, who's going to be walking the pod. Similar experiences.
Who had the crazy experiences?
Us, him.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna walk down the hallway and brush shoulders with Aljo and like Volk. Like that's
that's
crazy.
normal to him.
Is it?
He was in his training camp.
Oh, dude. And actually, yeah, because Volk was his opposing coach on Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, you think there's beef?
I'm gonna ask because that. Man, what are you looking forward to now? Like with training, are you excited for the season?
So excited, dude. What is this right now, dude? What is this?
You don't like this? I don't even know if I click record on that camera.
Which one?
That one.
You didn't.
Wait. I think. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Clash of Combat podcast. We're joined with Dan Argueta today. How's it going?
Good, man. I've been in Chicago for the last week and a half, making my rounds, getting into different training, spending time with family, getting to train alongside Nick Fishback, former alum for Parkside, is,
former guest on the podcast, actually, too.
Yeah. Former Clash of Combat alum.
Yes.
No, it's pretty cool to be back in the room and, see guys like yourself kind of, making that next wave. It's pretty cool.
Sure, absolutely. I kind of want to start off with a fun fact today. Do you have any fun facts on the top of your head? I'll start off if you want to think.
I'll let you start.
I'll start off. A shrimp's heart is in its head?
Damn.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, but that's a little...
I got an even better one. The moon, Australia is wider than the moon.
I think I heard that one.
Oh,
That's a kind of wild one, though.
all right. Screw this. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the end.
I'll think of a fun fact
All right.
throughout this whole time.
Good. Well, let's just right into it. Where do you think you're ranking right now? Where do you think you're at competing with the top 15 guys in bantamweight?
I think I'm right there. I think that people are surprised. People who watch the sport, they don't realize that, these top 15 guys are nonstop competing with guys in the top 500 in the world. And they don't always have the best days. If you can bring that into a fight, sometimes you can consider yourself, oh, I'm top 15 now because I did that to this guy today. But if I were to compete in the top 15, that would be awesome. I think I would rise to the occasion. I competed with the top 17 for my UFC debut up a weight class. And that was a shock to me. I was like, oh, man, I'm right there. Everyone always told me I was right there. So, yeah, I think I'm right there, When I fought Ronnie Lawrence, I think he was ranked like 32nd in the world, and that's all promotions. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool to, ragdoll him.
Yeah. I didn't even know that they went that deep into the rankings.
So the UFC's rankings stop at 15.
Yeah.
But if you go on, there's a website out there. I can't remember the name of it, but it shows the complete weight class every fighter for like the top 500 in the world. And it'll show, and it's every platform, every promotion put together.
Wow. Where are you on there?
I think I just cracked the 100.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Which makes no sense. I just smashed the 30.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right, you only get.
Maybe you got to prove yourself one more time up there.
Yeah.
Or something.
So I don't really look at the rankings because of that.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's good because I fight up to that level. I like that. I'm used to it. For some other guys, I could see it kind of crushing them a little bit. I kind of have the opposite problem. If I fight someone who's not supposed to be as good.
You fight to their level?
Yeah, I still get the job done, but.
Yeah.
I don't reach my full potential because there's no danger. I don't have to.
Yeah. Was wrestling your introduction to combat sports?
Yeah. So I started wrestling when I was 8 years old, and I think I was 11 when I saw my first fights. And
on the TV?
Yeah. On the TV.
Well, I don't know if you just go into person. Your dad's like, hey, let's go to this event.
On the radio. I was listening to the radio on a Friday night. No, I was watching, and then I think within a week, my mom took me to Best Buy, and I had a $20 bill. And she said, yeah, get whatever you want. And I went to the $5 bin, and I grabbed a few UFC DVDs. I grabbed George St. Pierre versus Matt Hughes, Frank Trigg versus Matt Hughes, and Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. Those are the 3 DVDs I grabbed. And so I was watching them.
DVDs.
Yeah. Bro, even better. I was watching them on a little portable DVD player that you put like behind the seat of a car.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had it in my bedroom because my parents wouldn't give me a TV. So I had it in my bedroom, and I'm watching these fights. And I remember watching George St. Pierre and just being like, whoa. Where did this guy come from? He can out-wrestle Matt Hughes. I'm like, whew. Being an Illinois boy, you just... Yeah. If you're in the world of fighting back in 10 years ago, all you thought was Matt Hughes. If you could wrestle, you can win. And then I seen George St. Pierre fight, and then my first time like talking about it to people was career day in 5th grade, and I said I want to become a professional cage fighter, and that I want to train in Albuquerque, New Mexico, under Greg Jackson, where George St. Pierre trains.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
23 years old. That teacher from Career Day messaged me on Facebook saying, wow, you're really doing it, kid. And I was like, what? And she told me, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I forgot. Like, I remember making the brochure. There was a Greg Jackson's MMA logo on there. There was a picture of George St. Pierre, a UFC cage, a UFC logo, a tap out logo, because I was talking about like how these fighters get paid, and it was spectacular. Like,
that's pretty cool.
That is very well. The power manifestation.
Yeah,
right there.
man. I was a little kid. And then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I just kept wrestling, kept losing, kept getting beat up, and 15 years later, I'm doing it.
How did that path go for you to get into the UFC? What were the steps that you took?
So my mentor, Cub Swanson, kind of took me under his wing. I was coaching for Izzy Martinez down in Chicago, and I was a little knucklehead. Am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a shithead. I was worse than a knucklehead. And he brought in Cub Swanson and Juan Archuleta, Purdue alum. Brought them in to train. I didn't know who these guys were. At the time, the most MMA I got was grappling with Anthony Pettis. I didn't know who Anthony Pettis was.
What?
I didn't know these guys. I told you, I forgot about the sport from 11 years old till I was 22.
That's crazy.
Didn't know who these guys were. And I'm like, okay. And Izzy gives me a pair of gloves and says, all right, try to take him down. I'm like, with the wall? He's like, yeah, with the wall. I'm like, okay. And I just run forward, and I just get two-pieced by Cub Swanson. 2 black eyes. I had a job interview the next week, and I didn't get the job. Because the ladies, it was 2 ladies. It was for a Microsoft office.
You didn't even get the interview. You just walked in.
Dude.
Walked out.
They're just looking at me. At a table like this, they're just looking at me. And I'm like, oh, this don't look good. I'm probably not going to get this job. And, yeah, that was my first intro to MMA. And about 8 months later, I was in New Mexico training Holly Holm. And I was about to leave. I was there for like 3 weeks. And Cub Swanson goes, hey, do you want to stay for another month? And I was like, sure. So I stayed for another month and trained with him, lived with him in a hotel, and then it was time for me to go home. I'm like, I don't got a flight home. He goes, no, you're coming to my fight with me. And I was like, okay. He was fighting Tatsuya Kawajiri, Japanese wrestler. Built like me. I didn't realize. I thought that I was just cool. But he had me.
He needed you.
Yeah, he had me in to mimic this small, stocky Japanese wrestler. Mm-hmm. And so I went out to his fight with him, and that was the first MMA fight I've ever been to. It was at UFC Salt Lake City. This is before the Apex, when everything was live. And I fell in love right there. I was like, wow. I took a picture on my phone of the arena because I had a good seat. Took a picture, and I was like, okay, by the time I'm 28, I'll be here. And I told my dad. My dad was like, how long are you going to do this? These guys don't make it. You know, there's so many of people trying to do it. I'm like, no, I could do it. I could do it. I'm focused. I could put my mind to it. He was like, whatever. Fine, till you're 28. And that summer, I went back to Izzy's, coached for that year, and I was just anxious. I wanted to get back to New Mexico and start training, but he had me coaching wrestling. Like I said, I was a shithead. Big one. And
You just get into trouble?
Yeah.
Just doing stupid stuff?
Stupid, dangerous. I should be in jail. Or dead. I should be in jail or dead, man. Like I had a bit of a party problem at the time. I still had it. I was nothing, and I lived like a wild man, like I was something, like I can get away with this stuff, and it was ass backwards. But I got in a bit of trouble, and I just remember Izzy said, "You're done. You'll never train again. You're done. Go get a job." You know, he was like, "You're gonna die a drunk. You're done." And I was like, "Shit, man. Okay." Cub Swanson texts me like 2 days after, and I'm like, fuck. I guess Izzy messaged him. He goes, hey, man, when you heading out to California to go train with him for another camp? And I was like, did you talk to Izzy yet? He's like, no, why? I'm like, I got into a bit of trouble. Sent him a long message. And at the end it just said, can you talk to Izzy and put in a word for me? And right then and there, no message. He was typing and then stopped. And I'm like, oh, shit. A week went by, nothing. Another week goes by, nothing. Haven't even talked to Izzy. And he just, one day, hey, call Coach Izzy. So I call him. Izzy's like, meet me at this restaurant. So I meet him at the restaurant. I get there. Small little restaurant, as big as this room, but packed. You got my airplane ticket on the table in front of Izzy. And he's like, why should I give you this ticket? And I'm like, Coach, I can turn my life around. I really want to do this. Give me the opportunity, I could do it. I gave you the opportunity, this and that. You're going to die a drunk. You're a drunk. You're broken. You'll never change. And I'm just like, man, he might be right. He might be right. And at the end, he's like, I got to go. Here's this plane ticket. He goes, your Cubs problem now.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, shit. Okay. Took it and ran. There was no return flight, just a flight to California. And I knew that Cub, he was going to go finish camp in New Mexico. But so I take my flight out to California. And Cub texts me, hey, my wife's going to pick you up from the airport. And I'm like, okay. So she picks me up from the airport. And the whole time in my head, I'm wondering, oh, man, does this lady know, like, that I'm a troublemaker and that I'm in trouble? Like, oh, shit.
Or like the cops looking for
True.
you like in California?
No, just a bad. I had bad character qualities at the time, and I was just like, it was a quiet car ride, like kind of like nervous. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be living in this lady's house for a month. And then I get to Cub's house, and he gets home from practice, and he goes, all right, here's your bedroom. It's a small, tiny bedroom. A mattress on the ground, no sheets on it, a blanket, a pillow, and a laundry hamper. He goes, there might be towels in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, coffee's on at 8. Wake up, go run, have coffee. Then we got training. Go get lunch, lay down, take a nap. You go run again. Then we we have strength and conditioning, and then train at night. Don't go out. Don't do anything. Here's your little iPad. Just stay put. Stay out of trouble. So I did that for a month or 2 months. It was basically like putting me through like AA.
Yeah.
Like boot camp. Just all I'm doing is training 3-4 times a day and staying on the straight and narrow. And at the end of that camp, he goes, all right, we leave for New Mexico next week. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I can't go there. Izzy kicked me out. Like, I can't go there. He's like, no, you're good. We're going. So we go to New Mexico. No, we're there for a month. We drive there. And at the end of that month, I'm like, yo, I don't have a return flight again. And he goes, no, you're coming to my fight with me. So I go to the fight with him. And then after the fight, I'm like, okay, where do I go now? Sends me back to New Mexico. He's like, you're going to stay there and train for a while. And then you're going to drive my car back to California. I'm like, okay. So after the fight, I'm in New Mexico. He's like, hurry up, make it back to California. You have a fight in 2 months. So then I end up living with him for another 2 months. And from there on, my fucking life just went, just everything was fighting. Everything was fighting. And I didn't look back because, I had a couple rules that he made me follow. Don't say no to a fight. Don't say no to a training opportunity. Someone better than me, farther than me, whatever it is, says, hey, Dan, can you be in California to train with me? When? When? Are you getting my flight? Do I have to drive there? I'll make it. I'll be there. And so that's why I tell these new fighters, don't say no. You never know what that
might
leap,
lead into.
Yeah, that leap might bring you somewhere far. It brought me far following those couple rules.
Who are some guys you have been training with? Like the biggest names? You said Holly Holm.
At the time, it was, I got brought out for Holly, and then Cub was actually ranked 4th on the planet at featherweight when we started training. Juan Archuleta, TJ Dillashaw. I got to train with Aaron Pico before he made the move to New Mexico. A little bit more, like, kind of introduce him, like, to going out there, which was awesome, to see his career skyrocket. Shoot, man, I can go up and down the list. John Dodson, Ray Borg. Ray Borg's another one that kind of helped my career. My first time being in New Mexico by myself without Cub was actually to coach Ray for a world title fight.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was like, that's when I met my girl. So my girl sees me as this young stud coaching someone for a UFC world title. We're living in a trailer in the middle of the desert.
Dang.
Dude, it was wild. It was wild. But who else?
What, she was just like ringside?
My girl?
Yeah.
No, she's from New Mexico. I met her on Tinder.
Oh, nice.
Of course.
Shout out to Tinder. Shout out to Tinder.
What was the Riz line?
I was staying in a hotel. Ray Borg was out of town for the weekend, and we were Snapchatting, and I sent her a picture, and I'm like, hey, come to the hotel, let's go swimming, because I was hanging out by the pool, my weekend
Nice.
off, and She just messaged back, no way. She's a good girl. That was a test.
The DopamineO is a resistance band used for building muscle and improving athletic performance. The unique thing about it is that it's longer, stronger, and more elastic than any other resistance band. With Dopa, you can work on strength, endurance, technical skills, and muscle growth. Dopa can be used as a portable multi-trainer that you can carry with wherever you go to even the most beautiful places in the world. Join DopamineO and the world's #1 resistance bands with the largest online training center. And a word about our service, full 1-year warranty with quick delivery to your home. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. So there is no more excuses. Join DopamineO today to change your workout routine forever.
Testing.
You didn't want her to go.
Yeah, I was testing her. No, it was cool. I can go up and down the list of guys.
Well, you were in. I remember the last time we tried setting this up. You were in New York with Aljo's camp.
No. Aljo was in California with.
Oh,
our
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was with our camp. Him, Marab. That room was crazy. It was Aljo, Marab, JP Bays, Mesic, the gun. He's a 145er, the Armenian guy. Brian Ortega, Rafa Garcia, Cub Swanson, Juan Archuleta.
Jeez.
Do you get starstruck when you walk into like that training room?
No.
You see those guys?
No.
Why don't you think that is?
I mean, he's that guy now.
Yeah, you got to think that
Yeah.
way, man.
Yeah.
You know, you only get the respect if you respect them, they'll respect you. You treat them like you're equal, that's how they're going to treat you. So it's pretty cool that way. If you try to treat them as your equal and they don't respond that way, all right, we're fighting. now we're not friends. Now we don't like each other.
Would you want
Cool.
beef with every fighter that you have? Does that help?
No, dude. I'm different. I'm different. I like to smile. I have fun. If you're in a training room and I'm in there, you'll just hear laughing. 'Cause I'm laughing. I'm smiling, making fun of, poking. You know, it's training. It's not competition. It's a time for me to go in there, find my flow, and learn. Find my flow, learn, try all my new stuff, see what's successful, see what's not. That's how I think of training. So to find beef in the training room, I don't care much for it. I don't get paid in the training room. You know, when I get out to a fight, it's almost the same thing. I'm very much, you know, even like my walkout songs. I walked out to Elvis this last fight. I'm like, you get me into the cage smiling, oh, I'm going to be dangerous. Now it's like the room. It's fun. So, no, I don't look for the beef, honestly.
Okay.
And I know that sells fights, but I'm like, eventually when fighting's done, my future employer is going to look at all the shit I said on Twitter, all the stuff I said, interviews, and they're going to be like, oh, this guy's a fucking moron. Like, why would I can't have him work for me. You know, I want to be someone that my dad's proud of, someone that the coaches are proud of, someone, you know, a people's champ, someone that your mom can watch my fights and be like, oh, that kid is so nice. He's funny. He's cool. Like, be like Dan. You know, I want people's parents to be like Dan. You know, that's my goal. So you don't get that from shit talking.
Yeah. You said, I'm just going to retrace like maybe a minute ago. You said, you know, after UFC, once you don't want your future employer to see that. Is that like a goal you want to work somewhere after the UFC or how?
No, but not a normal. I don't think I'll ever have like a normal job. Shout out to all the people with normal jobs. Nothing's wrong with that. Right now I have the coolest job in the world, so I gotta set the bar high for the next opportunity. When I say future employer, I mean anyone that's gonna give me an opportunity to do something. Anyone, a sponsor, anyone. You know, I want to make sure that my values are in line with theirs.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the end goal for fighting, or at least
I want
in
to
the
be a
UFC?
world champ, man. I want to be a world champ. I don't say it enough. I say it to myself when I'm driving. I'm like, oh, you still want to be a world champ? It's gonna be hard. Oh, yeah, you want to be a world champ, and I'll convince myself. But when I let people know, like, oh, what's the goal? I want to be a world champ. That's the obvious goal. But it takes time. It takes lessons. It takes experiences. You know, it doesn't just happen overnight. So a lot of guys who are gonna start fighting, like, remember, have those big goals, but you gotta flip every stone on the way there. There's gonna be a lot of rocks. You know, you gotta get past everything to get there. If I just gave someone the opportunity tomorrow that didn't work for it, they're gonna throw it in the garbage quickly.
Yeah.
Every fighter has their own timeline. How much longer do you think you're going to stay in this fight game?
Oh, I'm crazy, man. So my mentor, he is 39. He will be 40, and he's still got 2 fights on his contract.
He's using them for sure.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man. He wants to buy more houses.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Another mentor of mine, he was a special forces guy. Shout out to Coach Diori. He said that he was at his peak, physical, mental performance at 42, 43 years old. When he got past, 42, 43, he always said, oh man, I wish I was still doing it. I felt good until 42, 43. I don't want to be 35, stopped, and then be 42 or 43 and be like, man, I feel great right now. I'm still going to be on the mats. I'm still going to be training. Like, I don't want to waste it. I would like to go till I'm 42. I want to have kids when I'm mid-30s, and I want my kids to be able to at least see once or twice what dad does.
Sure.
So
That's pretty cool.
How soon would you put your kids in wrestling?
I think I'd want them on the mats.
Out the womb?
Yeah. They're going to be on the mats, but competing when they're ready. When they're ready, you don't want to, hey, I don't have no kids. I'm not telling people how to do it, but you don't want to force it. You gotta love the sport. It's not a sport you do if you don't love it. There's way easier sports to do. There's way easier hobbies to pick up. Same goes with fighting. There's way easier ways to make money, way easier ways to get famous. Like, if that's why you're fighting, wrong job.
Yeah.
I think I would probably have my kids on the mat by the time they're walking. They're going to be gym babies, man. My girl's going to be a dentist in a year. So those kids are going to be coming to the gym with me.
With clean teeth.
Yeah, clean teeth. They're probably going to be on fast. It would be cool to see them compete by the time they're 8. Imagine 5 years of preparation. You make that kid hungry to compete. They see all their friends coming home with medals and the shirts that say Kids Open. And, your kid's going to be like, I want this shirt.
Yeah.
You don't get it unless you compete.
No.
Make the kids hungry.
Are you driven by, like, the awards, the trophies, the belts, early on, even to now?
The gold necklaces.
Yeah, you got right.
It's one of my favorite gifts I ever got.
Oh, you got the gifted?
Yeah, from my mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, my mom got it made for me the Christmas after the Ultimate Fighter. And then my girlfriend's parents, my in-laws, got me the chain to match with it.
Perfect.
Where did the name The Determined come from?
Izzy Martinez. We were just sitting around on the mats, and he's like, you need a nickname. I think Dan the Determined, man. And I was like laughing, and I changed my Instagram handle to that. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was a name I lived into. Superman wasn't Superman when he was born. It's a name that you have to earn.
Sure.
And I felt like right away, you have to fake it till you make it. With the name, I faked it, made little changes until my character changed to what I am today, where I'm proud of myself. I'm not satisfied, but I'm proud of myself, man. I changed a lot. I've fixed a lot of things, and I'm still driven. I'm still driven to do more and be better. So that's where the chain came from.
Yeah. And then we are running short on time, but I do want to ask this question about your last fight. Coming off, obviously, dominating the guy. I mean, you had him you had guillotine on top. The ref calls the fight, and then it gets turned into a no contest. immediate thoughts? Where do you go from here?
Dude, I didn't even know right away.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I had right away. Cub goes up to me. He goes, I'm like looking in the camera so I can see the screen. I'm trying to fix my hair for the interview. And Cub comes up to me. All right, so you're gonna call out this guy, and you're gonna do some stupid shit or say something funny. Just be you. And then I'm like, and then give me the Prime water bottle. I gotta ask, give me the Prime bottle. I need Prime to make me a squirty bottle, like the Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
My Gatorade bottle has a piece of tape over it that says Dan's Prime.
That's hilarious.
You know. But then I hear the commissioners come back in. Okay, no contest. And I'm like, I'm like, what? I threw the fucking Prime bottle. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, think about it. 15 weeks I knew about that, or 16 weeks I knew about that date. I ran 40 miles a week on top of 3-4 hours a day of training, of MMA and just all my martial arts, and all those runs I had to do. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it hurt. It hurt. I had so many plans, and I could do everything the right way, and it'd still be taken. And I was like, man, it was crazy. It was crazy, and I could do nothing but smile. Because I was like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything right. If I'm sour about it, I'm going to be sour about bigger things in the future. I gotta change that right now. So I switched my mind to everything's fine, happened for a reason, you'll be good. You're going to keep going, right? What was I going to do? Quit? Cry? And then become someone that everyone's like, oh, this guy's not fortunate enough, or he didn't have it. I don't care. I know I had it. I know that if the ref didn't step in, he was going to be sleeping in the next minute. So that was tough, but you can only go forward.
Yeah, right. And of course that ref has like the background of bad stoppages.
He's a good trier.
He's a good trier.
Do the refs get like fined if they do that?
I don't know.
I'm the only person that
you're
loses out.
Yeah, literally. Wait, so are you on I know a lot of like guys are on like the show and win contract.
Yeah, just about everyone is.
So do you get your win money? Really?
Under contract? No.
Holy crap.
Under contract, you do not get it.
That guy's... Wow. That guy fucked you. Damn. I did not know that.
Yeah. I got back to the after party, and my family and everyone's like, yeah, like, no, you won, and I'm pissed, man. I'm fucking pissed. And they're like, you won, you look great, and this and that. I'm like, I only get half my money, right? And they're like, what? My girl's dad walked away, goes up to my dad. He's like, are you kidding me? He gets half his... Like, furious. My girl's dad, he was a professional fighter. He was a Division I wrestler. Like, he knows our
that's
life.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
he
sick.
knows our lives. And he knows that I reached a level where it's difficult. The money that we get, it's important.
It's earned.
Yeah. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. Like,
Can we ask how much it is?
I could survive. And I just got a new contract, so now I got the chance to really be smart, and you can make as much as a doctor if you perform the right way.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could do that in a year if you perform the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But the money runs out. You don't get to fight forever, so it's best to be smart. I want to buy houses. I want to buy property, within the next year, just so I can say, oh, okay, I put that away already. Now you can really fight for fun. Now the pressure's off, like that pressure.
Yeah.
Now it's not for money. And my dad saw that I was pissed off. He's like, you gotta stop fighting for money. I'm like, what do you mean? You fight for money because it makes me have fun in camp. I can do things easier, and it comes easier. Like, no, I do it for the money. He goes, you have good people and good family around you. You're loved. Fight for that. keep fighting for that because that's what's going to get you farther. He's like, what were you going to do with that money? What'd you want? I was like, well, man, I want to get my life started with my girl. I was like, maybe get a car. Like, I was driving around a 2005 Toyota Prius with the bumper taped on. Named her Stitches, dude. And my dad's like, what kind of car do you want? My dad gave me that car like 6 years ago for free. Shout out to Pop. You know, that thing I think it's close to over 300,000 miles.
It's seen some things.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. It smells like some things. And out of, like, anger, I was like, no, I'm fine. He's like, well, what kind of car do you want? I'm like, not a Prius. like almost like a, you can't help me anymore. Not a Prius. And he's like, what do you want? You could have the Corvette. And I'm like, oh. He's like, and I'm like, no, it's a 2-seater. I don't want that. He's like, I got a Mustang. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you could take the Mustang. Do whatever you want.
Damn.
And I'm like, all right, I'll take the Mustang.
If you insist.
Yeah, he's like, yo, just remember, you're going to be fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. Just keep fighting for the love of it. That's what makes me different. I fight for the love of it. You know, he asked me a couple years ago, hey, Dan, when did you realize that you weren't like the rest of these fighters? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you went to college, you have great friends, you have great support, you have a loving family, you grew up in a good house. Like, you didn't really grow up with fucked up things in your life. A lot of people you know did. A lot of fighters that we all know did. And I was like, I realized that right away. And he was like, really? And you kept going? Like, you stayed in there with them monsters? And I'm like, yeah. Because the thing is, I don't get any excuses. I have to prepare, and I have to give it my all and force myself to have that crazy to go out there and win. A lot of guys they're given that through their experiences that might have been messed up, and that's their edge. But it's an excuse at the end of the day. They lose, they get to say, oh, man, my dad whooped my ass when I was a kid. Like, that guy's dad didn't whoop his ass enough, you know.
Yeah.
I got my ass whooped, but, like, that's an excuse. And for me, I get to kind of go on with my day knowing I have no excuses. I was set up to win. I was set up to go far in this. I was given a good life, and I was blessed to go far and use that to the best of my capabilities. And it's a blessing and it's a curse, because sometimes you're like, man, that guy's mean, like I gotta go fight that guy. That guy looks like an asshole. But then I get to remember, he went through some shit. I didn't. I'm doing this for fun. I choose to do this. I choose to suffer because I like winning. I like the glory of it. I like the money. I like the perks. I like being able to come talk to you guys on a Wednesday afternoon. I get to do cool shit, man.
Sure. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know we have practice here. Just super short. What are you most looking forward to gain in this practice?
Oh, I want to see how many of you guys I can just choke out.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just let you guys shoot on me and work on my chokes.
Now
maybe I could, without Keith here, maybe I could get a finish.
Yeah, right.
Now, we do have a challenge, the Dopa Break the Bolt Challenge. Are you ready to stretch your limits?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do you have the band? Where's the bag?
Okay, what am I doing? I'm trying to rip this?
Just wait, just 1 sec.
My hands are sweaty.
Yeah, so the goal is you have to break that for $100. Just no scissors.
You'll get 3 tries. You can do whatever you want.
No one no one has broke it yet. Spencer. Ooh. Oh, that's actually a really good technique. Oh my god. No way. I can't even see what's going on.
Oh, it's gonna break me. Look.
That thing looks like a spider web.
Dude, how do you have that wrapped on there?
No way. Break it.
Oh, dude.
That's all right. No one has broke it. I mean, not even probably maybe.
It's all sweaty now. It's all sweaty.
Maybe the world's strongest humans can't do it, but we actually have a Dopa bag for you.
This bag is worth $100.
$100.
Yep.
So now you're telling me I got 2 Dopa bags?
You got
They
this
got
one.
me. They sent me one.
You already got one?
I already got one. Thank you, Dopa. They hooked me up after surgery.
Oh, really?
Rehab, yeah.
Well, there you go.
So you got the bolt in there, you got the yellow stretch, and then you got the Dopa band that is adjusted to your weight. So
Okay.
Which band do you already have?
No straps. They just sent me an orange band.
Okay.
oh well, I think you got another one in there.
I need to get straps.
Yeah. The one you put on your ankles and stuff.
Yeah.
And do whatever. Yeah. Yeah. No, this has
There
been
you
fun.
go.
We actually have another gift for you too.
Lucky I didn't break this. I would have said keep your bag.
And then the second gift is from our producer, Brady Shue. Clash of Combat
Oh,
plaque.
man.
You're the
That is
15th guest to
cool.
get it.
That is cool, guys.
Yeah. Guy on our team makes them himself from his trailer and metal cutting business.
Of course he
And
does.
and
He lives on the court.
that right there is priceless.
Dude, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I need you guys to sign the back. This is
Oh, that'd be
awesome.
sweet.
For sure.
Thank you.
And
Steve.
any last words on the podcast?
No, man. I just want to say, thank you to all my supporters. Thank you to everyone in the wrestling world for kind of continuing to believe me. If it wasn't for the wrestling community, I wouldn't have made it this far. My family, my friends, my girlfriend, the Ranger wrestling team. You guys helped me learn so many lessons as a kid. So it's cool to see the next generation of guys going through the pipeline.
For sure.
So I'm excited for you guys. You guys have a great coach in Nick Becker, and I think the sky's the limit for this team. So
Yes, sir. All right.
that's awesome.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yep.
Oh, thank you guys.
See you guys later.